There are three primary strategies for having difficult conversations. 1, blunt but respectful. 2, the shit sandwich. And 3, muscle on muscle. I think that the first and the third are potentially very impactful and good strategies. I'm going to encourage you not to use the shit sandwich, and I'll explain why in a minute. First of all, blunt and respectful. Clarity is the most important thing in having a difficult conversation. When you're dancing around something, you don't want to say something hurtful, and I get it. Saying things that upset somebody else, it is one of the things I like least in this world. But I used to try to sweep things under the rug so everyone could get along, so we could all feel good. I didn't want people to have to deal with the emotional setback, because, oh man, that can waste a lot of time, and it just sucks, right? Nobody likes going through that. But in sweeping it under the rug, what ends up happening is you're trying to sort of vaguely give the person a message which they don't understand because you're not being clear. So I've had to learn to be very blunt, to say things incredibly directly. So there's nothing worse than when people feel like you're playing chess with them. You're moving them around the board, they don't quite understand why you're doing what you're doing. It's a horrible feeling. You want people to know exactly where they stand. You need to always do it in a respectful manner. There's nothing worse than being blunt and an ass. That is not what I'm saying. You want to be incredibly respectful, recognizing the other person's feelings and emotions, be empathetic to the situation, no matter how hard it may be, but be very direct, very blunt. There are some downsides to that. A lot of times it's just so difficult to be artful enough to take the blunt and still make it feel respectful, so it can be a strategy that shuts people down. The shit sandwich looks like this. You lead with something good, you tell them the really bad thing that you came to say, and you try to end with something good. All they remember is the bad thing in the middle anyway, so you didn't really do anybody any favors, and you do that every time, people grow to really distrust you. You lead with something nice, and they'll say, I can feel the butt coming. So just on a long timeline, that one is totally useless. So I would say don't use that. The third one, which is muscle on muscle. Sadly, somebody told it to somebody else who told it to me, and I can't remember the original source. So somebody out there, you're really cool, you're really smart, because I love this strategy. But muscle on muscle is basically start with that person is strong. You've got something hard that you've got to tell them no question, but you want to start where they're strong. And you want to talk about all the things that they've done right, all the ways that they've contributed to the company in a completely authentic and true way, a way that they will know that's true. And then when you get to the thing that's difficult, you say, what we want to do now is apply those things that have made you so great here to this part over here so that we can make it one of your strengths as well. And what you do in doing that is you're helping them see how they can take that weakness and turn it into a strength. You're not just hitting them with the problem, you're hitting them with, we have a weakness here, and this is the path to turning it into a muscle. And that's why we call it the muscle on muscle, because you start with strength and then you turn the weakness into a strength, and you really show them how you're there to help make them better. And at the end of the day, I think that's usually the one where people are most receptive. You just have to be incredibly careful not to lose the clarity that you get by blunt and respectful. But those are really your three primary strategies.